the deepest.
All right, welcome back to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, and catch us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Well, I guess third time's the charm for old Austin Matthews because he wins it for us in overtime. Absolutely do. Was thinking tonight he looked pedestrian since he's been back, all season so far, but he really delivered in a clutch moment tonight. Huge game for Anthony Stolarz, though. Has to be the first star, right, CP?
Yeah, there's no other option. Anthony Stolarz gets the entire win tonight. I mean, that's a game that we've been on the other end of so many times, and I can't believe that the Leafs pulled one off of getting a win with like 14 shots or something versus 40, and yeah, to have a goalie stand on his head and like just give you the opportunity. Like even he did his job after a period and a half, and I thought, I mean, we've asked too much of Stolarz already, but for him to just keep like the entire game, he had to make some pretty crazy saves, lots of scrambles. So yeah, no question, 100% the number one star.
If you look back in the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the games that they've ever played and the fewest shots on goal ever by the Leafs, this game they got 14, which would tie them for 7th-ish of the fewest shots in 125 years of this team.
Jeez. I mean, I believe it. I just can't believe I don't think I've seen one of those games. I'm not sure when the last one of those was, but like, yeah, I just cannot remember a Leafs game where, you're going into the third period with like 10, and to pull off a win. I'm in disbelief, honestly. And even when it came down to it's once we tied it, shorthanded at that, I was like, this happens. This happens to teams. Maybe not my team very often, but this is something that happens where you pull off a point or two when you really just don't deserve it. So, yeah.
Deserve it or not, they took it. Leafs win 2, Devils get 1. Devils had 38 shots on goal tonight to the Leafs 14, and that's large in due to part of a slow start. Devils owned the first 5 minutes. Shots were 8-0. Shots were 13-1 after the first 15 minutes, and Devils were clearly the faster team. The period ended 15-1. Yeah. Even with the Devils on a power play, or even with the Leafs on a power play, the Devils get 2 grade A chances. Like, better than the Leafs. And so tonight, you're absolutely right. It was all about the PK. And you know what? They took penalties and penalties to keep them on offense tonight, which is insane, but that's how it worked. Because they had more opportunities shorthanded than they did on the power play or 5-on-5. Maybe not, but probably. Yeah. And 2 of those were from Austin Matthews, and they were glaring opportunities. So yeah. It was a weird game.
Oh yeah, crazy weird game. And yeah, I realized that too after we had 4 power plays or something, and 2 PK, or no, the opposite. But and you have two breakaways basically on the PK. It was and also that was going both ways though, because I mean when the Leafs were on the power play, I think they gave up just as many breakaways, or at least good chances. So
the Leafs didn't have the puck. They did not control the puck for the first probably 2 periods, but at least the first period was just pathetic.
The turnovers,
an absolutely pathetic attempt. Oh yeah,
to the very end.
It was
literally it never stopped. To the very end of the third, into OT. They couldn't hold on to the puck ever. It was crazy. And not like New Jersey played fine. Obviously, like you don't get 38 shots and it not be a good game for you. But I just like it was careless. Like it just looked like every Leafs player just like had hands of cement. I saw a few nice plays from Pacioretty actually. He seemed to have the nicest passes, but
yeah, Pacioretty looked good tonight. Pacioretty, he absolutely steamrolled Jack Hughes tonight. That was huge.
Huge.
So,
Jack Hughes is lucky he like saw it coming and kind of went with the hit. Because that could have been a game ender for him for sure. Huge hit.
So Luke Fox of Sportsnet tweets out, 6-time 30-goal man Max Pacioretty on reinventing himself as a checker. In quotes, I have a lot more appreciation for some of the guys I played with earlier in my career who did a lot of the dirty work. And tonight, he absolutely did the dirty work. Now, it was fucking weird when it happened, though. He hit him, and the whistle didn't go. Clean hit. It's all good. Nobody really even gathered, but everybody just stopped.
Yeah. Even like the puck got cleared to the other end of the ice, and like I think it's Tanev that's on the ice, and he like points back to where the puck is because like one of the defensemen has to skate back for it to be icing. So like no whistle goes. It's like a weird thing where Pacioretty is staying on the ice and Dougie Hamilton just standing over him, like not doing anything either. So it was weird. I think that like I'm not sure if anyone really thought that it was like a dirty hit. It's just, I don't know. It's like what they felt they had to do, but Dougie Hamilton has no idea how to be an enforcer in any way possible. So he wasn't going to do anything. So it was just stand around and I don't know, think about what just happened, but clean hit for sure.
And doesn't that turn right into like a Keefe team? Isn't that team so perfect for Sheldon Keefe? Like, how many games did the Leafs lose like that? Exactly like that. They got goalied and opportune moments somehow in overtime. Like, the Leafs have lost a lot in overtime, but that really looked like a Sheldon Keefe coached team. They won the puck possession. They had the puck a lot, but they couldn't do anything with it. They consistently got goalied, and at the end of the game, they lost. It's just kind of ironic watching that happen for the second time now this season against the Devils.
Man, that's honestly hilarious. Like, I really hope he came and took that curse with him, because I don't really feel like there's been any of those for the Leafs this year. Like, they haven't gone undefeated, but at least like where you have outshot the other team so much and to not come up with a win.
First game of the season.
Oh yeah, right. Take that back. Friggin' Montembeault.
Yeah, so that happened.
Yeah.
That happened. But Stolaire's absolutely amazing tonight. I had something like where do I get his numbers here? So Stolaire's the savior is what I wrote. 939 at home this season. He had an 893 coming in on the road, and after all the saves he made tonight, 37 of them out of 38 would have been. His percentage was up to like 910 or something like that on the road. So he really hasn't played that much because it's fluctuating like crazy. It's not supposed to fluctuate that much. But obviously he hasn't played that much on the road. And that guy's been an absolute stud for us. He's so confident. Like, if that game had Ilya Samsonov in it or a different iteration of a goalie in the past, a Matt Murray a couple years ago, or whoever the hell else we've had, like, we'd have been down 5-0.
Oh yeah, like it honestly. No offense, Ted, but this reminds me of like kind of how an Avalanche game goes so sideways quickly because the Avalanche don't start very quickly. It's it's kind of their thing, and so when you don't have a goalie you can trust, just things just get out of hand so quick, and then basically the game's over. I mean, Colorado ends up coming back from 4-0 all the time, but like that's why I said like after a period and a half when Stolarz had at least kept the Leafs like within striking distance, even after he let in one, it's like, man, this guy's done everything possible for his team to be in this, and that kind of is the only reason kind of your team can come out and give you something is because, there's still a chance, like the Leafs tend to get deflated if they're losing like down 3 or 4 goals. But like keeping them within one, like they can always score one. And it's just, yeah, definitely in previous years, this could have been 3-4-0 quick.
I don't want them to have that mentality though.
I mean, I feel like it kind of is in a way. See, there are games, and last year in particular, where they came back a lot, and especially with pulling the goalie, that was like their specialty, right? But yeah, like the Leafs in general don't strike me like a team that never gives up no matter what. Like the Colorado Avalanche give me that idea. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're just kissing up to our producer here.
But like there's other teams too, like even like just like I guess it's just teams that have proven it to me before are typically cup winners. Like I think of like Vegas and Florida and Tampa, teams that just like are relentless no matter what, kind of do like come in every night's the exact same. And like, sorry, but like the Leafs have never proven to me that they're the exact same team every night and are just going to keep going and keep going. Yeah.
No, not at all. But it was nice to get the 2 points tonight. They definitely For
sure.
If they lost again tonight, we would have been screaming and wondering and worrying about this team because they go on these hot streaks and then they just get absolutely cold. And you wonder how that equates to the playoffs. Like, if you can't hold it together, like, what are you going to win one round and then just absolutely die again like you did? I mean, it's a hard-fought round the last time the Leafs won a round, but they died in the second round. And that's not what you want. You want it to have enough gas to go through. You want to show that you can play, have one loss and then win 3 or 4 games, and have one loss, win 3 or 4 games, and do that through the season and show that you can and grind through that and get yourself to that point. But it is still only before Christmas. So you do have to take that into account.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess one thing that's still troubling even after pulling off a win tonight, and yeah, you break a 2-game losing streak, but like this team is just having trouble scoring, and like in particular 5-on-5, but it's been an issue in the playoffs before. It doesn't seem like the coaching change or the game style change has fixed anything. Like, and when you're looking at the lineup, like if the top 2 lines aren't going, like, some guy like Pontus Holmberg, it's great that he got one shorthanded, and Connor Dewar's the guy that sets it up for him, but that's not going to happen very often. And just like,
no, that's his first goal against a goalie this year. Like, he has one other goal this season, and it's empty net goal. Like,
Jeez.
He's not a guy to put it in the back of the net. You can't rely on that from him. You do need something though, and that brings us to, what about Max Domi? Max Domi played tonight for the first time in a while. What did you think of his return?
I mean, like he was doing his little water bug thing where, moves really fast. And I did like it's for a team that's kind of slow. It's nice to have guys that can do that. And it's not Nick Robertson, a guy that like has a little bit more, teeth behind him. But yeah, it's underwhelming. I'm not sure what to expect when you play him with Fraser Minton most of the night. It's like, that doesn't like really say recipe for success, because both guys are just kind of doing different things, like I could see them both being on a line if there's a centerman on that line and Fraser Minton's being the winger. But Fraser Minton's always going to try and be on the right side of the puck, not make many mistakes. And Domi basically is just the opposite of that. Like, he wants to make as many mistakes in his own zone as possible, and do something crazy the other way. So,
but it's really not working.
I don't like them together. It's just, I didn't think that was a good lineup choice, but you got to, play the cards you're dealt. And, is Pacioretty a better solution there, and Domi's up higher in the lineup? I don't know.
I think Domi played well with Matthews before, right? But that was without Marner, or was it with Marner?
No, it was Marner. I forget where Marner was doing. I think Willie was out, so Marner was playing with JT. Domi played up with Matthews. That's what it was. So yeah, I thought that everyone's talked about that in the offseason. This season, haven't really seen much of it. I think we've seen a couple shifts, but it's just another where your third line is just kind of this mystery thing. Like I'm been so happy with Fraser Minton's game, but like we don't have the guys to pair with him properly to make a successful line. You know, like he's the guy that, like, if you're gonna put two really sound defensive guys with him, then like it can be like a line where you give them tougher minutes, and that's the guy that he's gonna be in the future. But like for right now, like it's like a decision between, like, when Bobby McMahon comes back, that's a good guy to be there. But like Pacioretty or Domi, it's like these guys don't really scream to me that they're gonna work really well on that third line. So, but I mean, none of the lines really worked great tonight. Like Matthews and Marner made the most happen, and Matthews like 4 breakaways. But just like, yeah, I wasn't surprised when you saw like Fraser Minton up the lineup, you know, because like the third line's not working at all, so might as well use them somehow.
And what do you think about Nick Robertson scratched again?
Oh yeah, about time. I was sad to see Gurbankin like be sent down. Like when you're seeing like these guys that are being impactful, but like, yeah, you got to scratch the guys that are the least impactful. So it's Robertson, it's Alex Nylander. Yeah, no surprise there from me. It's just now, like, is he gonna
Fraser Minton too? Though that's the thing.
Oh,
so, like, do you think when Bobby McMahon comes back that it's a thought about getting rid of Nick Robertson over keeping Fraser Minton, or do they just send Minton back down to the AHL because he's waiver exempt?
Yeah, like that's the issue, is the only one of those guys is waiver exempt. So unless you can come up with some quick trade for Nick Robertson, then I guess, like, yeah, Minton's gonna have to be sent down. But I that just, again, we're just creating more of an issue. Max Domi's gonna end up playing center again, and you know, it's just I like all the players that are gonna be in the lineup. I just don't like how they're like lining up, you know.
Yeah, I know. There just needs to be a center. We're going to be, I feel like we're going to lose somebody that we really like this year, but we're going to end up with a nice third line center. And
you mean like
it's going to work out really well.
Fraser Minton type of guy we like, or like someone in the lineup that we
potentially
like? Potentially.
It could be a Fraser Minton. It could be Bobby McMahon because he's cheap for a year, and somebody else, like, he'll always are injured a lot. It could be I don't know. It could be somebody that you don't want to lose, is all I'm trying to say. I guarantee it's not going to be one of the guys that we're just throwing away for scraps that gets us that third line center. It's going to be somebody that we didn't really want to lose, but it'll be a necessary evil.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of reminds me that the Blue Jays just traded away one of my favorite players. So
Spencer Horwitz.
Yep, that stuff happens for sure. I'm all happy with
Jimenez hit. Like, I haven't looked. Is this guy hit or like,
no?
I know he
2 years ago he hit. 2 years ago he hit, but that's about it, man. But he's an amazing fielder. We're going for the back-to-back
yeah,
Gold Glove.
that's what we needed because nobody else on the team was a good fielder. So I'm glad that we have good fielding. Awesome. All right, I got one more Leafs thing before we get into the Jays. The nice hit on Kovacevic. Was that bad or fine? I mean, it was clear boarding, kind of, but wasn't it soft? It's kind of hard to say that. Clear boarding, but still soft, right? Soft.
I think it's a penalty. I didn't like that. Like, I think he apologized after. Just like, I don't know, just make the hit and make the call and just go to the box if it's a penalty. Don't apologize to the players. But anyway,
apologize.
Yeah. Anyway, it's so Canadian for an American, but I do think that, like, it's a penalty. I mean, is it more than that? I don't think so, because like he's not even looking at him when he's hitting him. He's trying to make a play on the puck as like he's making contact. So like, I don't know. There's nothing there for me, but sure, give him 2 minutes, but yeah.
That's it though, right? There's going to be no fine. There's going to be no. I mean, it's hard because at least they're under a microscope, so you always wonder. And Matthew Nice, it's not his first time towing the line here, but I really love this kid. I wonder what he's going to get paid.
Oh man, a lot. Yeah. I hope not as much as he deserves for the cap.
Yeah, hopefully not yet. One day, but not yet.
Yeah.
Let the cap go up. Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything else on this game?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I guess one thing is just like Matthews just doesn't quite, even though he got like his 4 breakaways, doesn't quite look right to me yet. Like, I'm not sure if it's just getting up to speed or if it's like still a nagging back thing, but he just even like you said, all year. And it's just like last year, there's always these like stretches of like 5 to 10 games where he just looks like he's always going to score like 2 or 3, even if it doesn't go that way. And then he pots like, like 3 and 4 games, however it comes out. And, we just haven't quite seen that. And I don't want like you. If it's a way that he's trying to change the way he's playing, like we've now heard like a few guys like Chris Versteeg come out on I forget what show and like talk about how like guys on the Blackhawks had to like take like they had to score less, get less points, focus less on that, and it resulted in winning cups. And and so like maybe it's too early to really like say like, oh, Matthews is having a down year, because maybe when we're in like game 60, it's like, well, look how this team's developed into this type of gameplay. He's really learned how to play this and like score at the same time. So maybe it's too early to tell, and especially he's just coming off injury. But I'm just like waiting to get on that Matthews train of just like always knowing he's going to dominate and be the best guy out there. Oh, you're muted.
I think we're always trying to look for the old Steve Yzerman story of he became a less goal scorer and turned into a defensive stud, and that's how he led the team. But he's always been good defensively. He is who he is. I think he's going to score at a wicked pace again. I think the injuries have had a lot to do with his pace this year, but I think you're right overall. I think the message through the organization right now is to get healthy and to play the right way. I think that's what you're talking about earlier. Like, these we're not seeing a lot of goals, but we're still not losing a whole lot, right?
No.
Like so at the end of the day, like if you're winning the right way and you take that into the playoffs, that's what the message through the organization is. It doesn't really matter anymore to be the best regular season team. And so far, they're in first or second in the Atlantic Division. So, I mean, they're also a really good regular season team up to basically Christmas at this point. So I would say that the plan's working just fine, and we don't need Austin Matthews to score 70 this year to get us there. And you're not going to see, double hat tricks back to back, I don't think. I think he had his career year last year, and he might get up there again. But, like, I think that he's going to mature and change his game, and he's hit every milestone that he needs to. What's the next thing that he wants is a cup. I think he's going to do whatever it takes at this point to learn how to be the team guy to win the cup. I don't really think it matters so much, and I mean so much as the rest of the team passing him the puck and focusing on Matthews and trying to get him those numbers. So this whole slow start conversation, I really think that it just like shouldn't exist, because they're just like playing a different way, in a different style, a way that's going to win them games in the playoffs, not just feed Austin Matthews the puck against the second or third string goalie on one of the worst teams in the league, and he can pump 2 or 3 in the net tonight so he can pump his numbers. Oh, and we're going to collect the win, but that's not the right way to do it. So I don't really think it matters, and I just think that comes a lot with the play style. And the fact I think Matthews has bought in, I think, is because he's already hit so many of these milestones.
Yeah. I have 2 things before we get to Justin's Four Nation question. But the first is like, I agree with you. It's just, and I like that, but the other guys on the team have to contribute. And like, that's where you want to see more from Domi and Pacioretty and guys like that. And then I think that's why he takes a reduction, is so the whole team is succeeding more. And actually, I was going through, the schedule and the games played so far, and it's a weird thing that I like to do, but I like to like see how many series the team would have won and lost in the playoffs. And so far they've won like 5 or 6 and only lost 1. And so like you said, like, they're winning games, and
so they're on a good pace.
Yeah, they're not stringing together like a lot of losses in succession. So that's always good for sure.
So does the Four Nations help get things going for guys? Justin Miller, thanks for the question. Love you, buddy. Thanks for always being here. Craig, why don't you go first on this one?
I think it depends on the player. Like, I think like for someone like Mitch Marner, I think it's always good to have him have a boost of confidence, and get him going. And with like star players, maybe he can like not learn like he needs to, but just like I think it's good for his confidence. Someone like Willie, like I'm not sure like how like beneficial it is. Like it's probably less beneficial because it's probably just going to tire him out a little bit. But I think it's just all player dependent. But I think everyone's so excited to do it. Like you're just going to get probably the best versions of them. And don't be surprised if after the tournament they're not exactly playing at their best level, because I think everyone's excited who's going to be there and they're going to give the role.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's really hard. My first instinct is no. I don't think it's going to help get guys going. I think it's going to wear guys down more. But then there's also the thought of like the other guys aren't playing NHL hockey games during that time. So they're just going to be on the beach. So these other guys are going to continue to be going, and their engines are going to be revved the same way, where everybody else's might be, a little slowed down, working your way back, which might help you for a game or two. But I think it's all going to level out, and probably midway through March, the guys who went to these Four Nations tournament are going to be feeling it more than their counterparts.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to like, whatever lower body injury, whatever you have to make up so that they can have their little holiday as well, and they can take a week off, like a couple weeks after this Four Nations. So they'll all come down with some sort of sickness. They have to stay home and go to Cuba.
Going through the flu bugs going through the room. Yeah,
that's right.
Hey man, they can probably sneak away to Cuba. I'm sure they can sneak away to Cuba. If Austin Matthews can make it to Germany without anybody knowing, then I'm sure that a few guys can make it to Cuba. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so we got the Ducks at home on Thursday. What do you expect for that game? Probably we got Wool in net. No more guys coming back. We got Kampf back after the weekend. So anything exciting for this game? It's another game against the Ducks. I mean, they got Jacob Trouba now.
I was just going to say, that's where Trouba got traded, right? So, I don't know. I guess keep your head up out there, but yeah.
Fair.
You got Gudas and Trouba on that team now, so I don't know.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath. That's going to be fun, especially like if you got, Pacioretty out there acting like an asshole. Ooh. Like he's been running guys and then they're running us, and that could be an amped up game. So there you go. Stakes are high for Thursday. Keep your head up, kid game. Ducks, Leafs in Toronto. But I think that's a wrap for us for now. We good here?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense Leafs post-game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas since 2004. Leave us a comment, hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube, and you can listen to us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. The next few episodes will be out, or the last few episodes will be out soon. Thanks for your patience. Peace!
Peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.